Peace, 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 and blessings. Welcome, power people. This is the Reverend and High Priestess Tama Aziz Serwa. As always, it is exciting to be able to hang out with you, and I don't take it for granted when those of you tune in to our hangouts, whether that's when we're live or when you catch the recording. I am the pioneer visionary of the company, the Womb Sauna. What started as a movement of just bringing the sacred art of yoni steaming to women has expanded to so much more because, as I teach, womb healing work is life transformational work. Tonight is the first hangout that we are doing in collaboration with our upcoming called Elevation Weekend. Oh, I'm so excited. I am doing a broadcast throughout the world. It is time for us to elevate. Some of us have been dreaming too small, playing too small, scared of the gifts that God has put in us, the things that we are capable of doing if we would just get out of our own way. And so I want to set the intention tonight that I am going to say things that is going to provoke you to action. I am going to ask you to make different decisions than what you've seen yourself make so that you can go to different places that you've never gone before. You can walk through doors that's been open for years that you just haven't had the courage to step through. So let me lay the foundation very clear. The first topic of our series, we have a series of hangouts and blabs we're going to be doing in preparation for Elevation Weekend. And so this one is talking about the power of 9 yeses. And I want to tell you the backdrop of how I even got to this subject matter. It was directly a powerful healing moment for me. And so there's a lot of layers that I want to do because by the time you get to Elevation Weekend, which is August 11th to August 14th, 2016, you are literally going to walk through the door different than how you've seen yourself. And when you get there, the things that we have in place for you are so powerful and potent that everything is designed to help you get to the next level. I attract women who are passionate, who are leaders. I get it. Business coaching program with a phenomenal coach. And she taught me, she said, your ideal woman you're trying to reach is a version of yourself. So the stuff I'm bringing to you, the reason why it resonates with you, the reason why it hits is because you too understand that it's time for you to play a bigger game. It's time for you to live at a level you've never seen yourself live. It's time for you to stop talking about it. And as I used to say back in the day, be bout it. Are you bout it? Are you ready to make some shifts? All right, so myelevationweekend.com. You're going to hear me say that link throughout our conversation tonight. That's where you'll be able to take action and demonstrate your yes and say, I want to be in that room for 4 days. 4 days. We're going to be in that space on 300 acres of sacred land, consecrated for the type of work we're going to do that weekend. And we have amazing leading ladies coming in to do some workshops and things. So anyway, that's not all y'all came here for tonight. Let me formally introduce myself. Many know me as well as Melinda Yule. I was 6 years old when I created my first organization. It was called CWA, Children with Attitudes, right? Yes. And I remember creating this little logo, and my mom would make the kids on my block and I picture Kool-Aid. That's all she knew at that time. She knows better now. But she would make us a picture of Kool-Aid and we would sit on the porch and I would talk to kids on my block about how to say no to drugs. I would talk to them about how to obey their parents and communicate with their parents even if they didn't agree at 6. And I remember that what I was doing on my block went from my block to my school. I became attracted to it and it couldn't fit on my porch anymore. And so I began to meet with them around recess time at lunch, and we would talk about CWA, Children with Attitudes. And I remember the first time in my life that somebody tried to minimize my gift. I want y'all to hear that. I remember the first time in my life that somebody tried to minimize who I am. And it was a teacher. She didn't mean no harm, but it was training ground from Spirit, I believe. But she called a parent-teacher meeting with my mom. She said, your daughter has started a gang. Yeah, y'all heard me right. Your daughter has started a gang called CWA. She got kids walking around here throwing up this diamond symbol, because that was what the logo looked like, a little diamond with a little curve on it. She got them going around here doing all of this, having these meetings. She done started a gang. And I remember the first time that I had to honor my yes, and it was a strong yes. And my yes was that what I was doing was okay, even in the face of somebody who did not understand it, tried to minimize it, tried to say it was something that it was not. I learned very early in my life to honor the power of my yeses. And I looked at that teacher in that meeting and I said to her, don't you know that children can have positive or negative attitudes? We have positive attitudes. Stuck my little chest out. My mother said, yes, is this meeting over? It was a powerful moment as I reflect on that. So all my life, I have felt a call in my spirit to lead, to educate, to empower. I've been doing it since I was in my mama's womb. My birth was an act of empowerment for my mother. And so this is who I am. I am an ordained interfaith minister. My educational background includes a bachelor's in counseling psychology, so y'all hear that come through. Also, I have a bachelor's in arts, and I have an MBA with a focus on global management. I am here for the world. I am finally at a point in my life where I am standing on the stage that is designed for my little corner of work and impact that I'm here to do in the world. Took me years to get here. I didn't always feel confident. I didn't always think I was good enough. I didn't always think that the body I was in would be prepared for where I am heading. But all of that is the past. And so I want you to have that same feeling. I want you to stop coming up with excuses for why you feel like you're not able to be all that you are and walk in the fullness of it. So how did we get to the conversation of the power of 9 yeses? Before we dive into that, I want to make sure you properly prepare for the hangout. In the invitation, I told you there would be some things that you needed to bring to this space. At the end of our conversation, we're going to do what I call a virtual ritual to seal the intention of what I am going to do with you. Everything about me calls you to action and accountability. So I'm not doing this just to give you information. I really want it to hit, and I want you to be prepared. So you should have a piece of hematite. Here's mine. Y'all see that? I love hematite. It was the first crystal that ever spoke to me. You should also have a white candle. I brought a little tea light candle for our ritual tonight. You also should have a glass of cold water. Do you have your glass? Toast up. Woo. And you also should have pen and paper, because there's going to be some things that I'm going to say to you that's going to hit, and you want to retain that information. So if you need a few minutes to get those things in place, get them in place. All right. I'm going to finish my introduction and we're going to go right into the content. So how did I get on this path with the womb sauna? Years ago, I was told in my 20s I was infertile. If I ever wanted to have children, it would have to be through in vitro fertilization. I did not receive that. I went through 7 reproductive endocrinologists who all told me the same thing. It did not resonate with my spirit. We're going to talk about the power of your yeses, the things that hit your spirit that you're supposed to say yes to. I needed to say yes to doing it another way and trusting my intuitive hit. And that's how I stumbled across a book by Queen Afua called Sacred Woman, Changed My Life. There was one sentence in there that talked about steaming the womb with herbs. I didn't know anything about that when I read it, but I knew that it resonated with me. And in doing that journey with some sisters in Atlanta, they surprised me, took me to a Korean spa. I had an immediate positive experience with it. I hadn't had a cycle on my own for over a year. After that 20-minute experience at that Korean spa, I began to moon, and it began to regulate itself. So when I came back home, I said, I got to find this. Who does this? And the way Spirit set me up, see, this is how you know you're in a pioneering moment. I couldn't find anybody outside of myself. I started having dreams about herbs. I started getting downloads and messages about blueprint for this experience for women that took it beyond your typical spa experience. People who work with me will tell you that what I do is a ritual. That when you get on my pot, you're sitting on the manifestation seat. And that when you get up, you will never be the same, not just at a physical level, but at a spiritual and emotional level. That is what the womb sauna does. Our method of vaginal steaming is deeply powerful and sacred. So I service women one-on-one. But it started with me. For 2 years, I healed myself from 2009 to 2011 from a diagnosis of PCOS, which is an ovarian disorder. 2011, I left my corporate job and I launched the womb sauna. That was another demonstration of my yes, because I was terrified. I had no money to start this company. So when you hear people say you got to have some money to make money, I'm a living witness that you don't. I get my coins, but it did not start off that I had any coins to get coins with. I didn't have any money when I started this movement. I want y'all to hear that, because some of you are entrepreneurs listening and you keep coming up with all of these limitations. Don't you know that obstacles need your permission to exist? Write that down. Tweet that. Somebody Facebook that. Obstacles need your permission to exist. It's time to elevate. It's time to change your consciousness. The universe is so courteous that it will never deliver to you what you cannot see for yourself. So some of you keep asking when you're in prayer and before your shrines, you keep saying, Spirit, what's the missing piece of the puzzle? You are the missing piece of the puzzle. You don't really understand who you are. Some of us come from an environment and a consciousness that says, I don't deserve rest. I need to be a workaholic. Sun up to sundown and all of that, right? And I had to have this moment with myself where I said, you know what? My ancestors didn't do all that blood, sweat, and tears for me to come here and have to do that too. That's not my legacy. That's not my inheritance. I declared in this process of building this company that I will make money in my sleep. When they told me I was infertile and I had no physical evidence in my body of fertility, I still woke up every day declaring that I am fertile. And I just had baby girl in November, as many of you know, when you listen to my YouTube clips and hear her hollering in the background. That's Zariel, the Empress is known on the web, right? But it was faith that got me there first. Faith is foundational. And of course, in Miracles, it says that is the fruit of your ego. And ego is masked insecurity. So when you find yourself being stagnant, procrastinating around things, that's because you are scared. Can we tell the truth? Just say it with me. You know what, Taima? I am terrified. Cool. I don't even care about your fear. Do you know that the greatest people of our time are doing powerful, impactful things terrified? Don't you know that we live in a world of polarity? So you actually just need to learn what to do with your fear. If you would recognize that fear can be a tool and it's not working against you, you would let it lead you to courage. You would stop thinking that I can't move forward, I can't get this business plan done, I can't marry this person, I can't do this, I can't do that. Fears. No, it's not the fear. It's that you don't know what to do with the fear. It's that you haven't learned that fear is a tool that will lead you to courage. We would not appreciate courage without fear. We wouldn't appreciate sunshine without rain. These are the polarities. These are the things that the universe has set in place for you to go into a deeper awareness of who you are and what you've been given to rise up in your full stature and do what? Elevate. For August 11th to 14th. When you come in through the door, you're going to come in a different consciousness. And that is what's going to be the foundation for you to walk out of that 4-day healing experience never the same. You hear me say this, and some of you may say, well, how can that be possible in 4 days? How can just getting in a certain space do that? I'm telling you the power of 9 yeses, and I'm getting ready to lay the foundation for this piece. The reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I've been the woman who has seen miracles manifest through just being in a room at the right time. You ever heard sometimes you just got to be in the room? It reminds me of when I was growing up in the Christian church, and they would always tell the narrative of the woman with the issue of blood and how when Jesus was coming through her city, she knew that if she could just touch the hem of his garment, she would be made whole. Don't you know that something very powerful happens when women come into a space together with similar intentions to shift in powerful ways? Don't you know that a vortex, a portal is opened up? That the energy coming together comes together in such a powerful way that every single person in that space realizes that something changes. Now, people who study culture have been talking about this. This is why when they go into tribal cultures, they see women menstruate together and birth their children together and all of this. I don't want to be too heavy in the clouds because it's nighttime and y'all might be tired if you're anything like me. But I want you to get very clear that what I'm asking you to do is give yourself the opportunity to elevate. Consciously choose it. That's a part of your spiritual maturity and growth. To no longer wait for something outside of you to bless you, but to learn how to bless yourself. I'm going to say that again. Some of you might need to write that down. Stop waiting for something outside of you to bless you and learn how to bless yourself. Learn how to pull out your debit card and give yourself something that you desire and demonstrate a yes. Immediate yes will open doors for you that would not open any other way. And it takes courage to give a yes. I have said yes to things not knowing how I was going to pay for it. I've said yes to things not even knowing if it was truly for me in that moment, but something hit me and I honored what hit me in that moment and just simply surrendered and said yes. MyElevationWeekend.com, I'm telling you, and those of you who've been connected to the movement know when Tama says it's going to activate something in you, it's going to shift, it shifts. It's time for us to elevate. So, how do we get to the conversation of power and 9 yeses? Let me tell you. Shout out to Healer Sister Project and my good friend who I adore, Shauna Murray Brown. If y'all don't know about her movement, look her up. Shauna, I want you to Google her name because she's going to blow up and y'all are going to remember this hangout and say, Tama told me about her. I should have connected to her before she was too busy and on Super Soul Sunday and all of that. Dig that, Shauna. I got you, boo. I see the vision. So Healer Sister Project, Shauna, Google her name, Shawna Murray, 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 Brown, Browne. Shauna Murray Brown, my homie. That's my homie, sister from another mother. We're hanging out, doing cartwheels in the glass and stuff, talking. All this stuff, right? Eating. That's what we do on sister dates. And I was telling her about how I've recognized the pattern in my life. Saying yes to things, even when everything in my body and my spirit is saying, don't say yes. I either feel don't say yes at all or don't say yes right now. How many of you can relate to saying yes too fast? Yes too often? Yes when it really should be a no? Yes when it really should be a hell to the no? Right? So I'm just talking to my sister about what I was going through. And I said, what is this about? And she asked me a question no one had ever asked me. And it was a game changer for me. It was part of my personal elevation. She said, Tama, you haven't learned how many yeses you need to proceed. So you judge yourself for how you're moving with different things. I said, oh my God, I never thought about it that way. So she said, well, how many yeses do you need to feel secure and confident in your decision? Has anybody ever asked y'all that? That was a game changer for me because that gave me permission to come up with a safe way of making decisions by simply beginning to realize how many yeses I need to feel secure and confident in my decision. That meant the next time somebody says, Tama, let's do something together. The next time somebody says, Tama, will you do this for me? The next time somebody says, I want to get to know you and all of that, I now know what I need to feel safe and secure and confident in my decision so I don't waste my energy or my time doing things that I really don't want to do. For me, it was 9 yeses. I needed 9. I needed to get to know some folks before we start dividing up money and assets and resources with you. I need to know your intentions, and I need time to figure that out. Some people can figure it out in the first conversation. That's cool. But I needed 9 yeses. I needed 9 different experiences to be secure and safe. Elevation. See, the elevation message isn't one about let me just flex and stunt and get my material things. I believe in that. Because best believe I'm gonna get my coins and I'm gonna get my material things as well. But my motive behind that is different. It's a gift to myself, something I do because I know the value of pleasure and desire. And I know that desire is the seat of feminine power. So I absolutely am committed to living a life where I do whatever the hell I want. And I don't care how people feel about it, as I am honoring my truth and my values. And my values are solid. I'm deeply spiritual. So there's an intention behind everything I do, even how I spend my money. Right? So anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked. The power of these 9 yeses taught me that it is absolutely 100% okay to give myself what I need in advance. Some of you, your doctors have said you need to go ahead and proceed a certain way. How many yeses do you need to feel secure about what's being presented to you? Why are you rushing to make dates for surgeries and procedures and rushing to the pharmacy and all this other stuff we do? If everything in you isn't saying yes, if there's a space within you that's saying, I'm not sure, what is it within you that makes you think you have to just proceed outside of your comfort zone? When will what you need to be safe and secure become a priority in your life? What makes you think it's okay to put yourself last and there's not a consequence for that? I want y'all to hear that. What makes you think it's okay to put yourself last and there not be a consequence for that? Consider the cost of giving all of yourself and your desires away. How many of you have ever sat with an elder woman and all she can talk about is, I wish I had, I wish I had, I wish I had. That's the consciousness of a woman who did not learn the value of elevating and putting herself first all the time, unapologetically. Sometimes when I hear myself teach these things, I say, Dag Tamer, how do you communicate it in a way that lets people know it's not being selfish? And when I was learning this from my Baba, my spiritual father, I would have these in-depth conversations with him saying, Baba, what you're saying to me, I know is true because I'm feeling it in my womb as you're speaking. But it just still sounds selfish. It sounds like, what do you mean I'm supposed to put myself before my family? Put myself before. But he said, baby, because he's from the South now, y'all. He almost 80 years old, still puts a crease in his jeans. that's the kind of Baba I roll with. Okay, round the way thug, elderly thug. I said, Baba. He said, baby, you cannot give what you don't have. So you think the world needs you to pour out a half full cup, an empty cup? You think that's an act of service? You think that's a gift to the planet for you to show up depleted, tired, and neglecting yourself? Where's the gift in that? He said, do you really think that's God's will for your life? He said, matter of fact, let me bring it home. How many women have you seen in your family live according to that value system? And is it working for them? You're their witness. Are they living the lives that you say, yes, sign me up for that? And when I took a good look at it, I said, oh, okay, I see. Not only is this about me, learning to appreciate and love myself enough to honor my needs, yeses that I absolutely need. This is ancestral work. This is an opportunity for me to demonstrate to my seed another way of being, because the age of martyrdom is over. If you look at the sacred texts in different cultures throughout time, you will see that certain master teachers were sent in that period of time to bring powerful messages about it's complete. Everything that needed to be done for you listening, for me speaking, to feel free to live life according to our truth and live life in a way that feels good has been done. It is finished. So then what are you trying to prove now? By saying yes to things you really don't want to say yes to, what is the point? What are you trying to prove? That you're a good person? So saying no means you can't be good? Saying no means you have a poor value system? Who taught you that? Where did that come from? Write that down. Where did that come from? Who did you see straight to you that you have to be a mat? You have to always be available. And even for me being an entrepreneur, working with women around womb healing work, there was an energy in the marketplace of if you don't work with women a certain way, or you're not always saying yes to other women, then you are not in the spirit of sisterhood. Can we just be transparent and talk about that for the leaders tuning in who've felt that weight? I have felt a real weight around how I move in the marketplace because I have felt judgment. No, to a sister. People have equated my no with arrogance, and they've tried to correlate my no with not being collaborative. When the truth was, there were sometimes I said no because I didn't feel I was good enough, even though the whole marketplace saw me in a certain light. There were times I was saying no because I knew it was not my odds. I knew that I was coming to the table with more than what the other person was coming with, which meant I would have to bear the burden of the partnership at a time where I'm trying to birth out more creative energy for my movement. This is why I like the 4 agreements where it says take nothing personal. You have to have courage to honor the power of your yeses, to say enough. Why 9 for me? 9 is a deeply powerful number in my life. 3 numbers show up very profoundly for me, 3, 6, and 9. And Nikola Tesla says, if you want to understand the key to the universe, just understand 3, 6, and 9. 9 is an ancestral number. 9 also represents a number of completion. I need 9 different opportunities to be present with yes. Moments of stillness to say yes. That was part of my elevation. That was part of me honoring myself enough to not rush into everything. Busybody anymore. Oh, I can be a busybody. Let me tell you. My Gemini self, Leo rising, Cancer moon. Yes, I can. I can go. But I had to learn what I needed. And then I had to make a decision to give it to myself. So now, for example, in the marketplace, when sisters say, let's do something together, I say, okay, let's get to know each other. Them 9 yeses to feel secure. What's the number for you? How many moments of being present with whatever you're facing, whatever's in front of you that you have to make a decision about? How many yeses do you need to feel powerful and good about the decisions you're making? Some of you are looking for job opportunities and they've made you offers. It's not a resounding yes in your spirit. But because you're worried about the bills and you think that that job is what pays your bills instead of the universe, instead of your God, you are rushing into decisions instead of honoring the power of your yeses. Your yeses are a covenant. Your yeses are an energy. When you say yes, you're not just saying yes to the experience, but you're saying, yes, I will show up. Within me, I'm bringing into this space, into this experience. That's not a casual decision. And the things that we are casual about, if we're honest, are not that valuable to us. Give you a real practical example. The plastic bags you get at the grocery store when you go buy your stuff. You're casual about that, right? You don't really care about that stuff, so you just throw them in the trash. Then some of you may shop at the fancier supermarkets, right, where you can purchase an earth-friendly cloth bag that you can reuse every time you go to the market, right? And so when you get those bags, you pay more attention because they hold more value. I'm asking you tonight, if you are showing up in your life and saying yes to things in a way that demonstrates your true value, or if you look at your pattern of your yeses, the things you say yes to, if you're too casual, because you don't value your yeses and yourself enough. It's time to elevate. It's time to stand up in your full stature and say, I know that I am love. I know that when I show up in the room, this is what I show up with. And so, yes, I am more mindful of my yeses. I am elevated. I am ready to move in a way and demonstrate to my children, to my community, to the world, feels good about herself. So good about herself that I make sure that what I say yes to is important to me and feels good to me. I want you to feel good, sisters, about how you move through life. Somewhere within our social programming, we've learned to deny pleasure. We've learned to just give superficial yeses. How many of you can relate to that? Some of you, it shows up in the bedroom. You're saying, yeah, nothing going on for you. Let's be real. No fireworks are really happening, but you pretend that they are. Superficial yeses. It's time to take these masks off because desire is the seat of feminine power. As the embodiment of the divine feminine, being a woman means you're positioned to be adored. You are adored by the Most High. You are adored culturally. Women right now are the reason the economy has even recovered in America. Right? It's a gift to walk through life in this feminine energy opportunity too. But we deny the power of that when we make decisions that dishonor what we really want. And some of us are so disconnected from our desires, it shows up every day in ways we're not even aware of. Honey, what do you want for dinner? Or honey, do you want this for dinner? Sure. And you really don't want that? Why are you not telling the truth? What happened to you that made you think you cannot have what you want in this life? And when are you going to change that story so that you can begin to have what you want? Write that down, because I know that when I say things, I have to slow myself down so you can process it. What happened to you? I wish I could come through the computer and shake you real quick and say, what happened to you, my sister? What happened? Pinpoint it, call it out. What happened to you that made you think you cannot have what you want in this life? Write it down. What happened to you? Now I'm going to shift you. See, now I'm going to elevate you. This is the depth of what's getting ready to go down in August. myelevationweekend.com. Let me elevate you. Tell me what happened for you. Okay, the fact is you had that experience. It made you think that you cannot have what you want in this life. Cool. You're clear. Got some clarity? You with me? Got some clarity? Okay, good. That's when it happened. Now that you recognize that's what that's rooted in, what are you going to replace that story with? How can that experience serve you? I'm going to give you an example. I work with a lot of women with sexual traumas. And I've had women come to me, get on this pot broken in ways that they don't even believe they can recover from. But I tell them, I'm going to walk you through what happened to you to what happened for you. So I remember I had one particular client and I asked her straight up, what are you thankful to your molester for? She said, you're crazy. I'm not thankful for anything that this person has brought into my life. I said, you have forgotten that before you were in your mother's womb, your spirit knew that you could handle what you've been through in your life, that it would not break you, that you would not die, and this would not be the end of the chapter for your life. So I am literally going to take away the crutch of your pain, because when pain shows up, when anger shows up, She didn't want to accept that she had been sexually traumatized and could recover. She wanted to hold on to the pain. I'm bringing you to a crossroad. You have to choose your pain or deliverance. Which do you want? And she looked at me. She closed her eyes, trembling, crying, sweating, all of that. And she chose peace. She said, you know what? If he had not done what he did to me, I would not have known how to secure my own daughter. I would not have known the clues for people who would be unhealthy and unsafe for her. It's painful. It served me well, because look at how I am today. I said, great, so we no longer need to be angry and bitter and resentful. We no longer need to pull out a violin. We can pull out a drum, and we can celebrate your deliverance that you have elevated and shifted. I'm telling you, sisters, that you are the missing piece to your puzzle. You keep waiting for something outside of you to give you this miraculous breakthrough. Don't you know that some miracles are a choice? Some miracles are a clear decision. There's power in decisiveness. If y'all missed that YouTube clip I put up this week, go listen to it. It's short and quick. But there is power in decisiveness. There are doors that open for you through your immediate yes. There's power in your yes. There's power in honoring what you really desire and want in your life. And if you have gone through things, divorces, traumas, just bitterness, resentment, or whatever it is, if you've gone through some things that make you say, okay, I have lived my life playing small, angry, resentful. I've been harboring unforgiveness. Better get in the room August 11th to August 14th, my elevation weekend, and come in there very clear that you're elevated. Because we're going to celebrate for those 4 days, the shifts that I'm going to walk you through in preparation for that experience. Some miracles start with a clear decision because the universe is courteous. Spirit is not going to impose and give you things you can't see for yourself. You wouldn't even recognize it as your gift. You would think it's for somebody else. Some of you have been saying, where's my child? You've been on that infertility journey like I was. It was an 8+ year long journey, let me tell you. Didn't happen overnight for me. It was an initiation into motherhood for me. But let me tell you, I would not trade that experience, because I can sit in front of this camera on the internet and tell you, as a woman that had to live these principles I'm talking to you about, that you absolutely unapologetically can have what you want. But the universe was very clear with me in my life, and I'm sure it's very clear with you in your life, that if you cannot see it for yourself, that's why you don't. It's time to stop being ignorant. It's time to get out of this I don't know syndrome that we create to slow down the process of manifesting our desires. It's time to get rid of the excuses, that poverty mindset that says, I don't have enough to even obtain what I desire. I have literally walked out my house and seen money on my step. I have seen debt that I've had be canceled, and I don't know how it got paid till this day. I just know what I did at my shrines. I believe that you listening can have whatever you want. If you want to call me crazy for it, I'll take that. But I'm so committed to your truth that I'll walk through with you. If you don't think you can have peace, I'll honor your decision, and so will the universe. If you don't think you can have wealth, I'll honor your truth, and so will the universe. Don't you know it all begins and ends with you? And what I'm calling you to is elevation. And with elevation comes prioritizing your desires. That is the power of my 9 yeses. I don't know what your number is, and feel free to comment on this hangout because it'll be up on YouTube. I want to hear from you. How many yeses do you need to honor yourself and feel good about your decisions? And what is your action plan to implement that? For you, it may be when something comes to me, I might need to take a day and just meditate. Be present with the information before I make any decisions. Because you decide, that's placing an order with the universe. Do you know that? Do you know that your decisions are in order with the universe? When you decided to marry Boo Boo the Fool, that was a good order, and the universe said, well, let's give her everything that Boo Boo the Fool is coming with. Right? Your decisions are in order. Let's elevate. Let's elevate. So I want to walk you through an exercise. You know, I've heard, and I don't know how true it is, but I've heard that 14 breaths can reprogram a thought. Why not try it, right? Either way, deep breathing reprograms your consciousness. Deep breathing has a healing benefit for your body. As we shift gears and begin to move into the ritual I want us to do together, and I hope y'all are ready. I hope I've been talking long enough for you to get your hematite, your white candle, your cold water. If you need time to do that, I'm going to give another minute or two for you to gather your items. Again, doesn't matter what form. So if you have hematite jewelry, that will do. This is my piece of hematite. I'm doing mine, and this is my little tea light white candle, and my glass toasted up of water, cold water, cold water. When you are getting ready to release things, know that your deliverance and emotional process, every cell in your body is obedient to your consciousness. Every cell in your body is obedient to your consciousness. So when you are doing what we're getting ready to do, what happens is the information that's been stored within your body changes, and everything begins to get a new signal. So even after this conversation, you're going to feel some things move. You're no longer going to be comfortable doing things the same way that no longer take you higher and elevate you. You're going to have to shift. So you might as well just surrender. When you do this kind of stuff, when you make your mind up, you change your life. If you want to release stagnation and procrastination, become decisive. Even if you're scared, make a different decision than the decisions you've been making. Show up in rooms that you haven't shown up in before. Hang out with folks that you haven't hung out with before. Like, just do some new stuff. Even if you don't know how that's going to work, you're not going to know until you become present. And so you might as well, if what you've been doing is not working for you. All right. So what we're going to do with this ritual is we're going to use the power of breath. We're going to use the power of earth. That's why I have the crystal involved. We're going to use water, and we're going to use fire. In every sacred text of the world, the elements and the messages and the energy of the elements have been a part of the creation story. We're getting ready to create your deliverance. And this moment will be foundational. It's not the completion of the process. That's why I'm offering Elevation Weekend. Because I know that there are series need to happen for you to walk more powerfully in your life. But this works so that when you come through the door, you're coming in a different consciousness. That way you can walk out with some miracles. August 11th, August 14th, myelevationweekend.com. And to any sister, because I know when y'all go to the page and you see the cost, for some of you, you're still working through developing an abundance consciousness. So sometimes numbers scare you. I get that because I went through that. I have done this to help me. Instead of asking if I can afford it, I ask, do I want it? Once I honor my desire, so does the universe. So I've seen myself make thousands of dollars worth of purchases and investments in my personal development and growth before I even had the money. I want y'all to hear me clearly. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, and that's okay. I've seen myself give my debit card number for stuff and set up payment plans for stuff and not even know where the money was coming from. Even with my business coaching program I'm in right now, let me testify about this. They coached me before they asked me for an investment because I was terrified of the cost of investing thousands of dollars in this experience. And I remember the woman who was explaining to me the value of it. She said to me in one of our final conversations, I know you're scared, but I'm not going to submit to your fear. Woo, that's my language. When people can call me out of my fear, I know it's for me. When people are calling me higher, I'm committed to my elevation that I won't resist. I will surrender. And that's exactly what I did. I surrendered and gave her that card number. The next day, I want y'all to hear me, not 2 days later, not a week later, the next day, over $1,000. And it was only a couple $100 investment. And I have not honored my financial agreement because the universe supplies all my needs. I'm not even attached to my business needing to be the way in which I flow in abundance. I don't care how the universe pays me. I just know that every day is my payday. I've been doing that since August 2011. See, Elevation Weekend is huge because the anniversary of the womb sauna is in August. So August 2016 will be the 5-year anniversary of this movement and my company. And it's near and dear to my heart because I am a witness to the stuff I'm telling you. I'm not telling you this stuff that I haven't had to live. So I hope I've talked enough for everybody to get your materials. Your hematite. Why hematite? Hematite is a deeply grounding stone. It's protective. It's great for releasing and clearing out negative energy and helping you get very centered in your truth. That's why I chose hematite. Why a white candle? White is a very purifying color. It's a universal color. And it allows you to just call in lightness. Sometimes we get real heavy in our stuff. I want you to leave this hangout tonight feeling really, really light. Cold water, because some of y'all got a lot of fire. And the cooling of that will help just clear some of that stuff out of your body. And we're going to speak to these things and tell them what we want them to do for us. Cool? Anything that you use for healing purposes, you got to set an intention around. All right? So I want you to take a deep breath, close your eyes. If your feet are crossed, uncross your feet, straighten up your posture. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Relax your shoulders, your back, your neck. Just get centered in this space. Just breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I am God's child, whoever God is for you. And I can and I will have whatever I want. Take another deep breath. Say it again. I am God's child, and I can and I will have whatever I want. Smile with it. Feel it. Say it again. Take a deep breath. I am God's child, and I can and I will have whatever I want. That's the truth. Just breathe. Feel that information in your body. Let everything within you hear that message and align with that truth. That yes, you are God's child, and you can and you will have whatever you want. Not just what you need, that's a given, but what you want. The desires of your heart. Yes, you can have that. Yes, that's your birthright. Yes, you can, and yes, you will. I want you to grab your white candle. When we light this candle, put it in your hand. When we light this candle, I don't want you to blow it out. I don't want the intention and the power of this moment to go. And your breath is energy. So when we light it, you're going to put it in a safe space where you can just let it burn until it's done. Okay? If you must put it out, well, let's not. We'll just honor that. We're not going to put it out. So take your candles in your hand, grab your lighter, put it near you. You're going to say, okay, God, this candle represents my truth that I can see clearly. I can and I am decisive. And the things I need to say yes to, I'm ready to say yes to. I'm ready to trust the process. I'm ready to receive every resource, every tool that I need to feel good about my yeses and to demonstrate that I believe in myself and I believe in what I stand for and what I say is my truth. And I am not turning back. Ashe, let's light our candles. If there's anything else you want to say for yours, you can add that in as well. Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to place my candle from this ritual on my Yemaya altar. Yemaya is a water mother energy that represents birthing powerful things. She birthed all the other orishas, those types of things. I'm going to let my candle sit in that space for Yemaya. Take your crystal, whatever form you have your hematite in. All right. And I want you to hold it over your womb. Your womb is about 2 inches beneath your belly button. That's the anatomy of where your womb is. All right. Close your eyes, connect with that crystal, and just say, I am ready to birth the things that I came here to birth. I am ready to access the greatness that I know is within me unapologetically. I'm ready to connect with my creative power, my womb, my seat of creative power. I'm ready to honor her. I'm ready to let the creative gifts within her shine and show up in my life. I'm ready to live my life according to who I am creatively. I'm ready to allow that to support me at all levels, including financially. And I want to honor that. Take a deep breath. Just become present with what's clearing and releasing from you. And repeat after me. Just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for my freedom. Thank you for my clarity. Thank you for my power. Thank you for my joy. Thank you for my money. Thank you for my healing. Thank you. Deep breath, go. Ha is the sound of the heart. Let your heart open. Release. Take your hematite, rub it. Say thank you for assisting me. You can blow on it, whatever you do. Put that in a space that's sacred for you. Because after this, I'm telling you, some stuff is going to start moving in your life. Take your glass of cold water. We're going to speak to this water. I'm going to tell it exactly what we want it to do. Whatever it is that you need to receive in this moment, that's what you're going to speak into the water. So for example, if you need peace, you're going to bring your water and you're going to say, I speak peace. And I'm ready to receive a peace that surpasses even my own understanding. I call that into my body. I charge this water with peace, and I am ready to receive it. And then you're going to drink your water. So take a moment before you take your water in. Get very clear. What are you ready to drink in and receive in this moment? Take a breath. Become present with it. Call it out. Grab your water. Some of you may need to call in elevation. I'm ready to bring that in. I'm ready to call that in. Some of you may need to bring in unconditional love. Some of you may want to speak a couple different things. Cool. Once your water is charged up, I want you to take a deep breath and drink it in. Be whole, my sisters. Be whole. You are amazing. You are a gift to the planet. And yes, we need you at 100%. And yes, the shift can be as simple as a candle, piece of crystal, some water, and an hour on a Google Hangout. Yes, it can happen that way for you. So I'm so grateful. I see so many of you are viewing the Hangout tonight and participating in this powerful moment. We have more Google Hangouts coming. The 11th of June is our next Hangout. And the 11th of July, we're doing 3 in preparation for Elevation Weekend. Early registration is until May 22nd. There are some doors that open through your immediate yes. And it's not okay for us to just say yes in our head, but not demonstrate yes in our behavior. Take action if it resonates with you. Get in the room, get the early bird incentive. Why not? It's there, right? Stretch your faith, demonstrate that you know that what you have done here tonight on this Hangout is true for you, is real for you. And I can tell you that by moving in that vibration, you will see miracles show up in your life just from your yes. That I can, I do have access, I can, and I will. Say it again, I can, and I will. So you go to myelevationweekend.com, August 11th to August 14th. Let me just give you the blueprint and then we're going to wrap up. I already mentioned earlier, but I know some people hopped on late. We have 300 acres of sacred land. Every participant who gets the full access pass will be able to have your own private suite where you get to listen to nature and have your own private bathroom and a sense of just retreating and rejuvenating. I call it your rejuvenation suite. There's a pool. Bring your swimsuits. Yes. There's water. There's a labyrinth. There's a peace garden. We're going to get our whole lives. I'm so excited. I can barely contain myself. There's going to be leaders in the room, the workshops. We're going to talk about elevating your spirituality, creativity, elevating your body. The sisters who are going to facilitate these workshops are amazing women who know what it's like to get trapped in certain ways, but get delivered and free and elevate. So they're coming, and every speaker that I have invited, we haven't published the speakers yet, but that's coming next week. Every speaker I have invited this week called me early in the morning, late at night. They were hitting me, Tama. Ever since you invited me to Elevation Weekend, God has been giving me dreams, visions, and instructions on what to bring for the sisters to support them in their elevation. And this is the most profound thing. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. How can I serve? Is there anything else you need me to offer? I said, whoa, it's going to be powerful. There's a portal that's going to open August 11th or August 14th. I want you there. I hope you want to be there. Desire is the seat of feminine power, myelevationweekend.com, because it's all about your elevation. myelevationweekend.com. Get in the room. It is going to change your life. It is going to change your bank account. It is going to change your health. It is going to change your marriage. It is going to change how you respond and accept pleasure. It is going to change everything. It is a game-changing weekend. myelevationweekend.com. I can't wait to see y'all there. I'm gonna just lay on my face. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna put my bags on. I'm gonna just lay on my face. And Sunday we're gonna celebrate the experience with a wellness expo. So we do have vending opportunities for anyone who has an empowerment or healing service to offer. We're specifically hoping that people will vend services like Reiki, massage, herbal consultation, those kinds of things, because the work we're going to be doing before the expo with the sisters is going to be calling them to a higher expression of self-care. So at the expo, we want people to already be there to bring the accountability to support the sisters in what they've just cleared out and released, and provide those rejuvenating services as we transition out of that weekend. So August 11th to August 14th, I can you last year at the Transform Your Womb retreat, we had to turn women away. Breaks my heart, but I have real requirements. I can't break their fire codes, because we got so many folks. So we chose a bigger venue this year that can accommodate more people. But I still have an inkling in my spirit that we still may have to turn some folks away. So you better hurry up because people are already signing up. Just telling you. So if it resonates with you, myelevationweekend.com, get in the room. Put your hands over your chest. Take another deep breath. And repeat after me. It feels so good. Honor my yes. Continue to do that. Even after you leave this space. I love you. Peace and blessings. You've hung out with the Reverend High Priestess Tema Aziz Serwa. If this blessed you, please go to myelevationweekend.com. Scroll to the bottom of that page. You'll see a section where you can leave comments about what we have coming up and what your experience was like on this hangout. And you can also share the information with a sister that you love and care about and you want to elevate with you as well. Peace and blessings, everyone. I have enjoyed my time. Take care.